My name is James Williams Jr. So I'm going to break this down into two videos. This one here is going to be about DC Comics. Alright, and the next one will be about Marvel Comics. So I'm going to break this down because the DC Comics isn't going to be as long as the Marvel Comic one. Just to get that out of the way. And it's not that I don't like DC. It's just that I'm more Marvel, Image, Dark Horse than I am DC. And Harbinger. Now that I'm not up to speed with DC as much as possible, but you know, DC has been like Marvel on the we make you fall in love with our characters and then we kill them off by giving you the finger and kill off generally your favorite characters. So let me take it back to like some of my first comic books. The first comic book I ever read was a DC comic book called Jonah Hex. I even took the nickname until I found out that I was part Native American. So that should tell you that I am not a hater of DC Comics. I love DC Comics, but I'm not in love with them like I am with Marvel. I can probably name maybe 7 DC Comic characters plus their alter ego or secret identity, whereas to Marvel, I have so much knowledge that I can't name them all, but I can name quite a few of them, specifically X-Men. But, because X-Men was like my main Marvel franchise. X-Men, New Warriors, Guardians of the Galaxy, not the Star-Lord version, stuff like that. We'll leave that for the Marvel video. Right now, we're on DC. So, as I was saying in the video that I deleted, my favorite DC characters, let's give it up to Batman. And, now that they even have a black Batman, I don't know his actual name. He's not Batman, but he's Batman. He has the bat suit just like Batman. He's in the latest Batman movie. They have the Batwoman, who originally was the original Batwoman, and then they have Batgirl. But I don't know if it's Barbara Gordon Oracle. If they went back to using the Asian girl who couldn't talk for a while, and which is another reason why I couldn't understand how nobody knew that she wasn't Batgirl, because she couldn't talk, and she couldn't talk in her alter ego either. So but DC has a tendency to use I guess astroquatic would be the term I could use for the names. Like Metropolis was once New York, Gotham was once New York. Now Gotham has been Philadelphia since like 2000 and something. And I don't know what the fuck Metropolis is. I guess Metropolis could be considered California, I guess. But I can't really say that it could be California because if fucking Clark Kent can run from Metropolis to Smallville, Kansas in less than 2 minutes, or less than 5 minutes or whatever the thing was, I don't remember, it's been a while, then, we can't really confirm or deny. So, therefore, we don't know where the fuck Metropolis is. Let me rephrase that. I don't know where Metropolis is. We know that Gotham City was once New York because they actually had a latitude and longitude lines on there like Raccoon City did in Resident Evil, if you played the game. Alright? Anyway, so, yes, if you played the game Resident Evil, they had some map with the latitude and longitude sign. I don't remember which game, but my cousin and I, we figured it out. Okay, so anyway, because we literally got a map and went down the latitude and longitude side. Gotham did it also in Batman, and Batman wound up being New York City. However, because of all the clusterfucks going on, and because Marvel actually has real cities, DC has falsetto cities. Now, I call it falsetto cities because they're actually nicknames of cities that may actually exist. Because there actually is a city that is called Star City, but I don't know where the fuck it is because I've never been there. Now, however, at one time, New York and Philly both brand the title of Gotham. So, you figure it out. Anyway, in Gotham City, no one has figured out that Bruce Wayne is Batman because he wears a fucking mask. Right? Same thing with Robin, even though Robin at one time his mask looked like it was just painted on. And depending also on which Robin you would prefer, I prefer Dick Grayson because he became less noticeable as his alter ego when he became Nightwing. So he actually had a mask to cover most of his face. And then when he became the Red Robin, he had a mask just like Batman, just without the ears. It depends on how far your comic book knowledge goes back. Everything I'm telling you happens before the Rebirth and the New 52s. Anything that happens between the Rebirth and the New 52s is beyond my pay grade because it's been almost 15 to 20 years since I actually picked up a DC comic. I think I looked at Infinite Crisis, but I didn't buy it. In fact, I'll go as far back to say that the last Marvel comic book I bought was, in fact, The Death of Superman and all the Funeral for Our Friends. You know, and like the last Batman book I broke was when Bane broke Batman's back, and he had a couple of replacements, and then he found Azrael, whatever, and then they wound up putting Batman back together with cybernetic back parts and shit like that. And again, after the New 52s and the Rebirth, all of the shit that I said has probably been retconned, so like maybe none of that shit happened. It happened for me, it might not happen for any of y'all, because I just found out what the fuck retcon means, and can it? I don't know if I'm saying that right, but anyway, those two words clearly mean that everything that happened when I was coming up no longer exists. Or they started playing with parallel Earths, which, by the way, I'm still doing research on who did parallel Earths first between Marvel and DC. I haven't found it, but I know that I'm pretty sure it was Marvel first because of Secret Wars with Rachel Summers coming through, but I could be wrong. And I'm going to find that out, and when I find it out, I will get back with you on that. I have to Google it, if at all possible, for it to be Googled. So anyway, moving on. Let's get to my list of my favorite DC characters. My favorite DC character of all time will always be Batman. Whether it's Bruce Wayne, or if you go as far as the cartoon with Batman Beyond, Terry McGinnis. Those are my two all-time favorite Batman of all time. So not when Robin becomes Batman as in Dick Grayson, and not when Jason Peter Todd is the Red Hood or all that stuff, because apparently he may have become a Batman. I'm probably off on that by 1,000, so don't even hold me to that. I hate to be a liar. I'm pretty sure that I've read a book where he might have been becoming Batman and something different happened or whatever. Let's leave Batman. Now let's go to our Green Lanterns. I have two favorite Green Lanterns, okay? Not the original from the Golden Age, because he didn't have the power of the Green Lantern from Oa. I don't exactly remember what his powers was because I'm old, but I'm not that fucking old. So, my two favorite Green Lanterns is John Stewart. Yes, the first black Green Lantern. Can we get it up for him? I suppose you all are wondering why. So, here's my proof of that. In brightest day and blackest night, let no evil escape my sight. Let those who worship evil's might beware my power, Green Lantern's light. I don't know the other 7 Lanterns phrases, but I know the Green Lantern's one. If I can just make sure the ring comes on. Now, my other favorite one, she's from the future. Her name is Kari Wynn. She is descendant of Richard Rayner, which is like my third favorite if I have to pick. I don't know, for some reason nobody likes Guy Gardner, and nobody hates Kilowatt, but nobody wants to play Kilowatt, okay? And nobody wants to play Guy Gardner either, unless it's just by voiceover. But you know what? I can never be Guy Gardner because Guy Gardner's white. And I'm not. So therefore, and then if we leave that, we go into like my next favorite DC character, which would most likely be the Martian Manhunter. Now, in the comic books, when I used to read DC Comics every now and again, the Martian Manhunter used to be a white dude who was a cop named John Jones, and then initially, somewhere between the 90s, like about the same time that Cyborg became a member of the Justice League, John Stewart became a black man. I mean, excuse me, not John Stewart. John Jones became a black man. So I don't know what that happened, or if he's always been black and he just looked like he was a white man with a tan in the comics. So, like my grandfather. It's hard to say, but John Jones is a very interesting character, and for the most part, in every show that he's been on, from Smallville to the new Supergirl, they've always portrayed John Jones as a black man. In most of the animated films, they've also portrayed him as a black man. So, I guess I could have been wrong. Maybe he was always black and I was just too stupid to realize he was black. Alright. Also, with the big diversity clusterfuck, that could have been why they started making John Jones black instead of whatever color he was when he wasn't in Martian form. Now, I say that because DC had got a lot of flack from the late 80s to the early to middle 90s about not having enough colors of diversity characters. And I was like, well, you guys just probably didn't read the right books, because Justice League had some black characters in there, and more recent, Spartan and Guardian and stuff like that. But they did have other black characters in there. The spotlight was never on them. Same thing with the Legion, the spotlight was never on them. Even when they got their cartoons, the spotlight still was never on black characters. All right, and DC had been noted to not have that many visible black characters before John Stewart. When John Stewart became the Green Lantern, more black superheroes started popping up on the Justice League, right, and other comic venues. Now, if you want to talk favorite teams for DC, one of my favorite teams, no matter what anybody else says, even though they got their asses kicked until Robin came along, was the Teen Titans. Now, I know you're thinking, you don't remember Robin and them getting their ass kicked. Well, see, when the Teen Titans first came out, there was 3 dudes and 1 girl. Wonderlass, which was Wonder Woman's sister. At least I think she's Wonder Woman's sister. She's from Paradise Island, let's leave it at that. Because like I said, anything after the New 52s and the Rebirth is beyond my pay grade. So whatever you're reading now doesn't match to what I'm saying now. So Speedy, Aqualad, Wonderlass, and I think it was Kid Flash. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it was Kid Flash. They used to fight, and the comics weren't selling, and most of the time when they fought, it wound up being either a draw, a standstill, or all out. The Teen Titans got their asses kicked because they were only good, apparently, to the readers and the writers as sidekicks, which is why they formed the Teen Titans, so that the Titans could hold their own and not be classified as the sidekicks for the rest of fucking eternity. For those who didn't read the original Teen Titans, again, Wonderlass, Speedy, Aqualad, and Kid Flash. And yes, Kid Flash was Wally West. Okay, there was no other Kid Flash on Teen Titans before Wally West. So now that we got that established, we're good to go. Of course, let me note, once again, everything that I'm saying is way before the Rebirth and the New 52s. Alright? So you don't understand or don't want to hear that, just Google it, even though now I guess none of that shit's canon. Or it's all been retconned, or whatever the fuck the word is that means that shit no longer exists, it never happened, etc., etc. Now, so Teen Titans have always been one of my favorite teams, and it really kicked off and got better as more people joined. But more people joined after Robin took the mantle of leadership. And yes, Robin and Speedy had some issues, and then eventually Robin would leave and go back to being a solo character as Nightwing. So again, it really all depends on your flavor of DC Comics. But yet again, like I said, DC didn't have that much diversified characters. The characters are always either white or they were always alien, and so none of them were actually black people who lived in the hood and stuff like that. Now, with the exception of John Stewart, who was a black Marine, who had a somewhat crazy past. He was handicapped at one time. John Stewart went through some shit. And so, with DC, the only things that really gives me the finger on is like, alright, cities. You have Gotham, you have Star City, you have, was it Empire City? It was somebody's city. But most people remember Gotham and Metropolis. And some of the characters in Star City and Central City, because I think that's where Flash was. Not real sure now. But, when you go back and read the comics, you'll figure out what I'm talking about. But the cities always seem to really fuck me up. The only thing that my complaint was with Metropolis was the simple fact that no one in Metropolis, including Lois Lane, who has had sex with Superman at least once, and with Clark, and she couldn't tell that the dick was the same, or that all he did was throw on a cape, Superman, spin around 3 times in a circle, change clothes, he's back, he's Clark Kent. Slap on some glasses. And no one else in the entire city of Metropolis noticed this shit. No one. Even those alley cat bums that be sleeping that, the end of the world is coming, dark side is coming, but no one knew that Clark Kent and Superman were the same. At least Vigilante, who rode a motorcycle, he's a cowboy, ride a motorcycle, people knew who he was. He had the thing. Now, I understand that people didn't know who the fuck the Question was because the Question doesn't have a fucking face. And it wasn't until recent where they revealed that the Question hasn't. It's actually a mask. So, then there's the Huntress. Nobody knew who she was because she also wears a mask. You know, for all the superheroes in DC that wear a mask and people don't know who they are, I get that because that's like fucking real. But the Superman concept of no one understanding that Superman and Clark Kent are one and the same is one of the reasons why I primarily stayed away from Superman. Even when he got split into two, when he was copying Hawk and Dove, when he would wear the blue suit and the red suit, got split into two. And I guess he could be Clark and Superman at the same time. I didn't really read the book. I only seen the first book and I read the cover. And it was just really fucking bizarre. So I was like, okay, I'm done. And then a couple of years later, they brought Superman back, like, completely dark, where he didn't even have a fucking cape. He had a hoodie, which was fucking awesome. And Smallville kind of was following with that storyline sometimes, so it was kind of crazy. And then when they did Doomsday and all the other stuff in Smallville, and Bruce Gold came out of nowhere, and it was pretty good. And I didn't get to see the last season of Smallville because I was enlisted. Alright? So, in that, you know, DC does not have a bad roster of heroes. Justice League is great. Teen Titans was great. The Legion was great. The League was great. And then you have, like, if you're in the Batman, you had the Legion of Assassins or the League of Assassins, and you had the Legion of something else. And Batman's been a member of all kinds of assassin guilds. And Batman technically is a ninja and a samurai, and to go into his Yodo Sensei and all the other stuff. And, you know, Batman all around is always going to be my top favorite DC character, fanatically to the top. Now, the grand question that a lot of comic book people have always asked, because at the time, before the New 52s and the Rebirth, Gotham City was New York. And here's where people decide to get complacent or just be dicks about it. They always will. How come Batman and the League of Assassins ain't never run up on these guys on my shirt? Because the Ninja Turtles are based in New York. And the Ninja Turtles at one time belonged to Archie Comics. I have no idea who they belong to now. And Nickelodeon's like really dicking us around on when the fuck the next season is going to start. If it's going to be a fucking season. Or if they made a lot of toys and money and just said, we're going to make another movie and just say, fuck it. So then they said, well, how come if Gotham, he's never ran into Daredevil? And I was like, okay, well, there have been other universe crossovers, and sometimes those do happen, but I don't recall if there's ever been a crossover with Batman and the Ninja Turtles. I'm pretty sure that would be exciting. It would be for me because I love the Ninja Turtles, but not as much as I love Batman, but not as much as I love everything that comes out of Marvel's ass crack. Alright, so I'm going to close this video with this. DC Comics is a phenomenon. It started off small, it grew big, it also had some distribution of Marvel Comics, which pretty much gave Marvel the finger. If you're watching Robert Kirkman's The History of Comics, he can fill you in on all that shit. So that would be something you guys might want to check out. My comic book favorites, again, has been the Teen Titans, Batman, the 2 Green Lanterns that I mentioned at the beginning of the video, 3 if you can't Hal, because everybody likes Hal, but, you know, it just depends. DC has a variant of comics, but DC is not my favorite between the 2 universes of Marvel and DC. But I didn't say anything negatively bad about DC except for they have the diversity problem at one time, and now they don't. And to combat that, before I close out, just to give a shout out to the people who made the Flash TV show. Thank you for making the West family a people of color. When initially the people who, if you have never read a Flash comic book, technically Iris and Wally are white. Alright? But I want to thank the CW and WB or whatever you got and Warner Brothers for actually making the family diverse. Also, thanks for adding Vibe and Killer Frost. I'm James Williams Sr. This is Company Havoc number 2, BCU. And also, basically before I go, you know, Arrow and Gotham are both kind of living a side stream of shit that didn't really happen to those guys. Because everything that's happening to Jim Gordon happened to Bruce Wayne, and everything that's happening to Ollie happened to Bruce Wayne. I'm James Williams Jr. Not that those shows are bad. Those shows are awesome, because if it wasn't for Arrow, I would have never been watching any of the other shows. I just wanted to put that out there. I'm James Williams Jr. Go Team Arrow. Be seeing you.